It's Mexican Iron Man.
Security checking products. Please stand by.
Welcome to Mexican Iron Man.
Good morning and welcome to Loki's Mornings of Mischief. I am this morning's VIP or not so VIP guest host, Mexican Iron Man. Yay, the crowd goes crazy. Yay, I can hear the cheering in the background. Or maybe I'm dreaming or I'm pretending to myself that there's actually cheering in the background. The boss is under the weather still this morning. And we are wishing him well. For those of you joining this morning, please put in a L to wish Loki rejuvenated health and hopefully a recovery today. And maybe he'll be back tomorrow. So today is day 2 of Mexican invasion. Yes, the taco farmers are running the taco plantation. The Mexicans are running amok here. Actually, there's only one Mexican, which would be me here running amok. So without further ado, let me say good morning to everybody. First one in the door was Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. Checked out your video, a couple of your videos yesterday. Great job. I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan, and I own the entire collection. So it's great to see a couple of your videos. Starter Pope is Cuber. Good morning to you, nearsighted Cyclops. Welcome. I want to say hello to Gun Bunny. Hello to Pat S., the hardest working producer on the net. Great job with all the channels that you help. Keely Chai, good morning. Roll Tide. Wait, did I say Roll Tide? No, I meant to say War Eagle. War Eagle. I don't even know if that's what an eagle sounds like. I think that's what a crow sounds like. I didn't get that right. Pacific 414, good morning to you. Hello to the wrenches. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Chris. How are all of you this morning? Good morning to the lovely 6. Oh, it's a Captain Trek raid. I was planning on signing on to that earlier, but I frankly just woke up. I was up until 3 a.m. last night. More on that later. I want to say a huge welcome also to Gap Stargate. Thanks for joining us as always. And let's see who else we got here this morning. Oh, we got tons of people. Claude Sailing, welcome, Claude. How are you? Want to say a huge shout out to Dean Krantz. A huge welcome to Psycho Dwarf 9. Here, I'm going to say it in Spanish. Psycho Dwarf 9. Wait, no, it sounds the same. Wait, hold on. Psycho Dwarfe 9. Look at me hitting the SAP button, kind of not really this morning. Andrew Eastman, good morning. Did I say hi to Dean Krantz already? Maybe I did. Darius Munchausen, hello, my brother, my longtime brother from so many moons ago. Oh look, I'm in my own chat. Loki's Mornings of Mischief saying, here we go. Look at me go. Let's see who else we have. Brian Danton here. Hello, Brian. Great to see you as always. And let's see, we've got did I get everybody? Have I got everybody that's here yet? Oh, a name so cool you gotta say it twice. Larry. What's up, Larry? What's up, Dave? How are you? Good morning to you. It is a Tuesday morning. We are officially in the second day of spring. Want to say hello to my brother Rod Thunderheart. Rod Thunderheart, See Through Love is the book. Rod Thunderheart is the author. And from what I hear from my brother Rod, we're going to have an expanded universe coming with additional stories. If you have not bought his book, please check him out. See Through Love. It is absolutely an entertaining read. Very well done. So very proud of him, because here in the fandom, if we don't create our own properties, those of us that are able to create, what do we have to look forward to? Not a whole lot. And so in days when things are getting burned down to the ground, we've got to create our new wonderful things. More on that later. I want to say a huge welcome to Soul Assassin. How are you? Always great to see you in the morning. Everybody sending L's to our man Loki. Loki. Loki, of course, is a demigod, and he will be back because nothing keeps the great Loki down. Sometimes he's out, but he's never down and out because he always bounces back. So, and also I heard there's some really nasty weather going through Texas right now. A couple streams that I know about were canceled. Dean Krantz goes L times 12. I love it. Welcome, nearsighted Cyclope. So good to see you. Man Squatch, welcome. So good to see you. Larry says, Loki, get well at light speed. Oh, I love that. Health warp factor 10 all the way. Good morning, sis. Good morning to Sister Stephanie Janchik of the Smuggler's Cantina. Always good to see you. Thank you for joining us this morning, and welcome to Loki's Mornings of Mischief. And let's see who else we got. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. If I missed you, my apologies. I'll try to catch you as soon as I can during the show. We don't really have a show plan. I don't know if we're going to have any guests. I just sent the link out to a few folks, but there's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about in terms of fandom stuff. So we're going to get right into it this morning. And there's a couple shows out there I wanted to talk about. This is what I want to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about on Taco Tuesday is how in an age where so many things are burned to the ground, in a time when so many things that we love are certainly just getting obliterated. And I got to tell you, it's been a rough last 30, 45 days for Mexican Iron Man. It has been absolutely rough and brutal on all the fandoms that I love. It's felt like things were under siege. It feels like in so many ways that a lot of the things that we care about and love so much are just getting attacked. I mean, this has been a constant onslaught that's been going on for so long now that it seems like it's never ending. For me, and it's interesting because for me, just when you think you don't care about something, it comes back and finds another way to kick you in the teeth. It finds another way to kick you in the gut. It finds another way to like slash your Achilles tendon and make you trip and fall. I'll give you in a few examples that I'll cite. Is Star Trek. We'll start with that. Star Trek has not been something that I've talked about. Star Trek has not been something that I've really worried about. Star Trek is something that in the modern era has been dead to me. And I'm not even watching Discovery, but I'm not watching really any. Well, I hadn't been watching any of the shows. I just recently agreed about 2 weeks ago to start watching Picard this next new season because, of course, I do the pop culture breakdown with Overlord Doomcock on Sundays, and he mentioned that he was watching it, and I volunteered to watch it with him. But we'll get to Picard in a second because I was never really a big Next Generations fan. But when I heard about the news of what's happening with Captain Kirk and Spock, when I heard about the news of who's in the final season, the season finale for Discovery in terms of them bringing Stacey Abrams on, it just lit a fire of pissed off in me. It absolutely lit a fire of pissed off in me. And just when you think you don't care, I do care. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to react because Captain Kirk, when that episode of that show comes out and they have a new Captain Kirk, I said it about a year or two ago. I said that, my God, if they mess with my beloved Captain Kirk, I just am probably going to lose my shit. And I mean that. And I'm going to repeat a little bit of a story of why Captain Kirk matters. But before I do that, let me say, Man Squatch, Mexican Iron Man, do you have any good recipes for rabbit chicken soup to send to Loki to make him all better? Interestingly, I do not, but you know who does? Is Stephanie Janacek. Stephanie Janacek actually has a video. I think she still's got the video, one or two videos on her YouTube channel where she actually made rabbit chicken, a delicious rabbit chicken dish. So I'll make sure I send that over to him. So he hopefully feels better. And first super chat of the morning, a contribution, a new Traveler 5 campaign. Psychodorf 9 for $2. Thank you, my brother. And because you sent in a super chat, I'm going to take this opportunity to throw out so that we get the morning started right with a little sexy time action, a little bantha action.
You said clip, I forget I'm on the fucking internet sometimes.
Yes! Look at me!
Yeah. Chris Purse observes, whoa, 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 whoa! Mexican Iron Man actually got peed off. Something serious is happening. Indeed, it is. So with Kirk, when I was a little kid, I didn't grow up with a dad in the house. In fact, my biological dad, um, who provided the seeds that enabled the young taco farmer to be born into this world, upon finding out that there was a little Mexican youngling that was baking in an oven. Yeah, he was like, uh, I got to go back to Mexico now, and so he took off. Never met my real biological dad, ever. Ended up having a stepdad later in life, but that's just another story for another day. I was a latchkey kid. I was left by myself, and you know what kept me company twice a day, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on the weekend, um, was Star Trek and Captain James T. Kirk. And of course, I'm not old enough to have seen these shows when they first came out. I wasn't even old enough to see these shows when they were on syndication in the early 70s. No, for me, I was watching the reruns much, much later, out in the Bay Area and on KTVU channel 2. Um, and Captain Kirk was a father figure to me. Captain Kirk was what I envisioned my dad would be, or what I wanted my dad to be, or what I hoped my dad would be, or who I hoped my dad was. And I looked at what he did, how he did it, how the character was written, and to me, Captain Kirk was everything that I hoped someday that an introverted little kid um, could be. And in many ways, I found him brave. I found him resourceful. I found him just incredibly optimistic. The way that Gene Roddenberry and, of course, all the writers um, created this Kirk for us, and I would literally pretend as a little kid that he was my dad. In fact, I would sometimes talk to the TV. I would literally like come home from school because it was on twice. It was on in the early afternoon, and it was on again late at night. And if my mom worked sometimes swing shifts and doubles, and so sometimes she wasn't at home, and I had to put myself to bed. And so I would like a lot of times, little kids are little kids, and I would talk to the TV, and sometimes before the show started, I would say, "Hey, I got my homework done, or I'm gonna get my homework done, and I'm doing good," or something like I would like talk to him, like as if he were my dad and he were like really there. Of course, there's other things that I found in Captain Kirk. Certainly the resourcefulness is something that meant a lot to me. My family was broke. My family was poor. We barely ever had any money for anything at all. Um, we barely had any money for anything at all. And because of that, sometimes I would, look at the resourcefulness um, and try to say that's what I wanted to be. Now, there's other things like Captain Kirk, his way with the ladies. Okay, maybe that influenced Mexican Iron Man a little bit too much in terms of maybe affected Mexican Iron Man a little bit too much in terms of his grown up dating life. But such is life. So when later, now if let's fast forward and I find out, they're gonna possibly bring him, or no, I'm sorry, when later when I find out they're bringing back, Discovery and all these shows, I said they better not touch my Captain Kirk, because if they touch my Captain Kirk, I'm gonna be lose my absolute shit. If they screw with his character, I'm probably gonna like go on the rant of all rants. In fact, when he flew up into space, when William Shatner went into space, I was actually really nervous. Like I felt like emotionally, like I felt like this was my dad going. It's interesting because I'm a grown man now, and obviously he's not my dad, and I'm smart enough to know he's not. But somehow, when he went into space, it literally spoke to that that little kid in me that pretended that thought he was my dad, and so I was afraid, like, oh my god, my dad's flying up into space, and hopefully, um, he's gonna be okay. So we're gonna stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm hearing that's gonna happen with this character and what J.J. Abrams and what Kurtzman's gonna do to him is literally gonna just like throw me off my fucking rocker. Then when I heard that Stacey Abrams And then when I heard Stacey Abrams was going to be in the season finale, I'm just like, God, these people are just absolute idiots. These people are absolute morons. These people just don't give a shit. These people are playing around and they're getting paid for it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of the destruction. So yeah, I felt a very strong rage, and then that rage really got then this rage is really being kept alive because of what I'm seeing in Picard, and it makes me really want to go to that place of where I just don't give a shit and want to be negative all the time, versus what we do here at Valhalla, which is we hold things accountable, but we're eternally optimistic. And I love Loki. And one of the things Loki did for me last Friday, knowing that I had to watch Picard episode 3 for Doomcock show, he called me and warned me about the immigration ice scene that was in the show. I actually didn't believe him when he told me. So I'm glad that that he warned me of it. Uh, Real quick before I go on to the next topic, or finish that topic and go on, the Star Wars guys who have been a member for 9 months at the Warriors of Asgard level say this: dropped a like on this fine Taco Tuesday, even though I still say pasta is better. Laugh out loud. Just saw Tenet last night. That movie is a trip. Well, thank you, the Star Wars guys, for dropping the member chat and being a member for the Warrior at the Warriors of Asgard level for the last 9 months. I'm going to see the Star Wars guys and everybody at Echo Base Network at the end of April. We're going to be meeting in Nashville, Tennessee. Mexican Iron Man is going to be bringing his accent. He's going to be bringing his firing irons. He's going to be bringing his lightsabers for Nashville. I don't even know if this is a real Southern accent I'm doing. Mexican Iron Man is going to be getting his lightsaber action on. We're going to have ourselves a tournament. So for those of you that can make the drive, that by that time gas is probably gonna be what, I don't know, $49.99 a gallon, or the flight. God, I don't even know what those air tickets are going to be like. For those of you that can make it, Echo Base Network meetup, and of course we have our own Valhalla meetup coming up in October, Valhalla Con. We're really excited about Valhalla Con. This meetup is going to be fantastic. It's going to be excellent. We're going to be meeting in Dallas the last weekend in October. We're going to be going to Retropalooza. We are also going to have our own sort of hangout area at the con, kind of our own little area. But more importantly, we're going to have our own special event at at an arcade bar that's in Dallas, Texas, where we're going to all meet up and get together. Now, stay tuned to the end of this video because I have a very special announcement that I haven't even told Loki yet, and I'm going to do a reveal of something special that's going to happen at Valhalla Con for those of you that can plan to make it. So anyway, so that's my little talk about Star Trek, and preceded to that was Star Wars. I mean, there's so many, or in addition to that, I should say, there's Star Wars and all the stuff that's coming out, and it's so clear now. Now that this year we're finally getting some shows, and we're finally getting some content, and Obi-Wan's right around the corner from coming out. It is so clear that whether you want to say there's a war at Lucasfilm or not, or whatever, the sure as hell is, whether you describe it as a war or as internal politics or as creative inconsistency, whatever you want to call it, there is literally chaos and a lack of consistency inside of the people that are giving us the Star Wars that we're getting. And as someone who's just came back from a little over a month ago, Disneyland in Anaheim, and seeing everything there, and seeing the merchandise and the announcements. Yeah. Now you throw on top of that, Mexican Iron Man's had a rough last month because Halo's coming out this week in 2 more days. Yesterday in the morning show on Loki's Mornings of Mischief, I had the Great Zeropium, and we showed images of Halo. The more and more that these actors and these production people comment about what we're going to get in Halo, the worse and worse and worse I feel that this show is going to be, and it's going to feel like. I am so much a Halo fan. I have loved Halo for, what is it now? Is it 20 years now? Has it been that long? Where are we at? Are we in 2000 and did it come out in 2002? I don't even remember. Feels like it's been 20 years. Maybe it's been shorter that, longer than, I don't even know. But Halo's been a part of my, well, it has to have been because we did LAN parties in the early 2000s. Mexican Iron Man, I think it was in 2000. What was the first year we did one? I think 2003 we started doing garage LANs, local area network parties. You know, everybody grabs the PC, you meet at your buddy's house, and we would do garage LANs, and you know, usually late at night, sometimes on Fridays, sometimes Saturdays. Um, and we would meet up and we would game. Well, these things started growing. And just to answer real quick about Star Wars, Obi-Wan is coming out. I don't know. The show's definitely coming out this soon, this spring. Whether or not he's coming out in terms of LGBTQ, I don't know. But hell, anything's possible at at Disney these days, right? Um, and so, anyways, getting back to Halo. So the more and more stuff that I'm hearing from Halo, the less excited I've been. And for 20 years, this has been a part of my life. These LAN parties that we did in these garages, they grew steadily and steadily and steadily. We got up to the point where we were doing 200-man LAN parties. Was I think the largest we did was 250. Like we were renting out um, literally ballrooms at hotels and running these LAN parties. The first one we did was a massive failure. It was funny because Jeremy Griggs over at Geeks and Gamers talks about he was a gamer and he ran one and no one showed up. Well, that was how it was our first one. The first one we had no PR and no one showed up for our first big LAN. Except the few of us that were in our little garage clique, but then they grew fast and to the largest one, where we would start Friday night and do all the qualifiers for the tournaments. And then by Saturday afternoon, evening, we were in full lock and load with the finalists in the tournament. And we would go until Sunday. Sunday was free play day. And then we would give away the awards. But we had sponsors. We were giving away NVIDIA gaming cards, keyboards, gaming mice, bags, monitor bags, monitors. I mean, it was a pretty big deal. And the game Halo was one of the main titles. Of course, we did Unreal Tournament back then, just because everybody loved what we now call boomer shooters. Everybody loved Call of Duty. Everybody loved Battlefield, and of course Halo. But Halo was the match. That was the big deal. And when I heard that Halo was going to be made into a live action, I'm like, oh man! And when I saw some of the first pictures and the first videos that were coming out of the production, I was really excited. Well, then the trailer came out, and I was like, I'm less excited. You know, and then another videos come out, and now the press releases come out, and man, oh man, oh man, oh man, I'm dreading this. I am gonna watch it. I am gonna react to it, and you know, it's just so damn frustrating because I know it's probably gonna suck, and I can just see the storylines happening. Um, and Andrew Eastman says, so hashtag blame Mexican Iron Man for esports. Yeah, I don't think I can take credit for all of that, but we certainly were there um, before the going was good. D. Grant says, when it comes to Halo stories, I prefer watching Red versus Blue. The people in Hollywood cannot touch that. You know, it's funny, Dean, that you say that because about when I was in California in January, and I was at that time because we're now in March. That was 2 months ago. 2 months ago, before a lot of these latest releases came out, I actually rewatched. I don't even know how much seasons 1 through 3, I think, of Red versus Blue. God, that stuff was so good, and you know it really still holds the test of time. You know what I mean? It really does hold the test of time. Andy Masterson says, "Get Mexican Iron Man some emergency tequila for Halo." Ha! Yeah, you know, I'm kind of a tequila bottle half full kind of guy generally, but right now I got to tell you, um, I'm seeing a nasty worm at the end of the Halo tequila bottle. A nasty little worm at the bottom, and it's not the good worm. It's not the kind that's all yummy when you get to the bottom of the bottle of the tequila bottle. I don't know if people know this, but tequila, like some of the traditional Mexican tequilas, has a little agave worm at the bottom, and that's how you know it's like a goal and objective to work your way to. But I'm feeling that this little worm is going to be a bad one. It's going to be some kind of like gin, awful kind of worm type of thing. Pat S says land parties this spring, tacos by Mexican Airmen. No, we're not doing any land parties. Although I was chatting, I think, with Mags yesterday on the morning show. Maybe after tax season, me and Mags are going to go do some old school Unreal tournament. Who knows? And of course, Shum is here saying hashtag blame Mexican Iron Man for everything. You know what, Shum? No, you can't. No, you stay in the back corner, Shum. No more virtual tacos for Shum this morning. That's for damn. That's for dang sure. Anyway, so Halo's coming out, so I'm not excited about that. So here's Mexican Iron Man. Here's his winter months. Of course, Star Wars was an absolute disaster with Boba Fett. I know many of you disagree with me. Many of you liked it. Many of you thought it was okay. I thought I went through so many ups and downs with that thing. And of course, politically and intellectually, I'm trying to tell myself that I know it's not going to be fantastic because I know when it was produced. I know what was going on in Disney. So I should probably just take the good that I get, what little good there was there. But I just can't. I want great Star Wars. I want to be inspired. I want to be really moved. And here's something with the Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you guys haven't done it yet, watch the trailer again, but turn the sound off. Seriously. Watch the trailer with the sound off for Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are going to have a very, 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 yeah, I agree with Stephanie. It was okay. You're going to have a very, very different reaction to Kenobi. I'm not sure what we're going to get. There's a lot of speculation that's all over the map. Speculation's okay. I am going to watch all of it because I'm an optimistic kind of guy. But I'm really, really, really hoping that we're going to get something good. Six says, I disagree that it was a disaster. Well, it was a disaster for me. Disney sequels were a disaster. Well, that's true. Good point. Book of Boba Fett was just mediocre. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I agree with Six. Sometimes I can be a little bit, dramatic, unbelievably. The music is the best thing, Maxine Iron Man. You're right, it is. So rewatch it, watch it again. And turn the sound off. So the first half of the show, I ranted about how how I'm worried about Halo. I ranted about how Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard suck and Strange New Worlds or whatever the hell they're calling the show they're going to change Kirk. I'm ranting about that. I'm ranting Star Wars, Star Trek, and Halo. Well, let's talk about some good things. All right. I want to talk about some good things. Some good things that are going on. As I talked to Dega last week, he's going to be out on Kindle. I'm going to really promote the crap out of his book. He was generous enough to give me a copy, to send me a book for my birthday, and my kid's reading it. I pick up my kid in less than 1 week. I'm picking him up in Orlando and taking him to the Space Center with his mom. So he's reading it. He's an avid reader. He's actually, I think he actually likes making Legos. I think he's going to make a Lego of one of the ships. So, check out Adega. Check out Rod Thunderheart, See Through Love. I've talked about that. There's other people in the fandom that are creating their own projects. I had a fantastic talk with Script Doctor yesterday. A good friend of mine that appears on Midnight's Edge After Dark with me. He's going to be coming out with his own Indiegogo campaign. I was recently cataloging all my independent comics, and I didn't realize I bought so many in the last couple of years. So check out independent creators. And then I want to talk about a couple of series that I'm watching that I really like a lot. And I'm not sure what you guys think about them, but I'm interested in the chat if any of you have seen them. So I'm going to pick a couple. The first one I'm going to pick is called Raised by Wolves. All right. So it's sci-fi, Raised by Wolves. It's on HBO Max. I think that's where I saw it. Yeah, I think I saw it. And it was recommended to me while I was ranting and on the Doomcock show. And good morning, Captain Trek. Welcome. And want to say welcome to the Matt Cave. Hey, Matt Cave, how are you? It's a fantastic show. I really, really, really have enjoyed it. Now, I really recommend that everybody watch it. Why? Because it's new sci-fi. It's a new creative property. It's a new universe. And the great thing about this show is that right now there's 2 seasons out. The first season, I don't know why they call them seasons. I have a hard time calling anything. Like in the olden days, we had mini series, which were usually 3 or 5 episodes, and then we had real seasons. A season would have at least, shit, I don't know, 18, 20, 23 episodes, like a real season. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so there's 18 episodes, 10 from season 1, 8 from season 2. Raised by Wolves is a fascinating story, and what it does is it talks about basically an alternative history of Earth in space exploration. I don't want to give away too much, but there's androids involved, and I'm not talking about like the stupid kind, like like in Picard where he's an android, but he's not, and he's gonna have sex, but he's not. Oh God, I just can't stop talking about how shitty Picard is. So I want to show some of the. I'm going to show some of the images of the show for you guys to take a look at. And oops, hold on here. Let me see how I can make that bigger. Okay, let's see here. Oh, hold on. Let's stop that share, and let's go back. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. Mexican Iron Man has not had his coffee yet this morning, which means that he is a little bit slow on the trigger draw. All right, here we go. All right, Raised by Wolves. Here we go.
We work. It's not just.
Oh, we got an ad. How'd that happen? Hold on, I got an ad. Whoa, hold on, play trailer with sound. Here we go.
If you pretend to be something long enough, eventually you'll no longer need to pretend.
I fear we're becoming too human to be the parents that our children deserve.
We have to think of the future now.
I am the prophet. Nothing can stand against me.
Yeah.
Gather round, children. The Earth was destroyed by a great war.
So I'll repeat it. The Earth is destroyed by a great war, and that woman you just saw is actually a robot, an android.
I was programmed to protect you. And now we start again. Does anyone know the story of the 3 little pigs? The first little pig built a house out of straw. The second little pig built a house out of sticks. But the third little pig, he built a house out of stone. One day, a big bad wolf came along and said, little pig, let me in. Or I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
The big bad wolf she was talking about?
Mother?
That's her.
So that is Raised by Wolves. Some people, as I've talked about the show, some people get into it, some people don't. It's not for everybody, but I find it absolutely fascinating premise. I love the show. I'm not going to say it's like 9 out of 10 or maybe even barely 7 or 8 out of 10. There's a lot of plot holes. And in order for I think one of the things that makes this series great for me is I think the look is great. I think it's something new. It's something different. And there are probably of the 18 episodes, there's probably about 3 or 4 of them that are kind of boring or slow, but the payoff comes later. And sometimes even some of the episodes in the first season get paid off in the second season. Now, where the show's at is that the third season has not been renewed officially by HBO Max. The third season, however, has the writer and the showrunner has been writing free, just in a feverish pitch to get as much of it done, and in anticipation of the actual go ahead coming for this show. And in terms of its ratings, it's been doing pretty well. The first season was had ratings in basically the 70 percentile. The second season had even higher ratings, and I do think the second season is better than the first season overall. So I encourage you guys to take a look at that. Andrew Eastman, I hear you. Andrew Eastman says, I tried watching the first couple episodes and it didn't grab me. And I had a lot of the same reaction. One of the reasons why I'm recommending this show is that, well, I need to give new stuff a chance, and I think we all do. One of the things that I don't like happening in fandom is that we're so mad and so angry about the stuff we love being destroyed. We cannot start spending all of our time being negative about everything. I think what we've got to do is we got to do three things. One is, if there's people in the fandom in our community that have their own creative projects, we need to support them, embrace them, and be entertained by them. Number two, we need to go back and find the things we love and rewatch the things that we love, whether it's the original trilogy for Star Wars, and we have to rediscover why we love Star Wars, whether it is TOS in terms of Star Trek, Next Generations, if you can. I can't watch Next Generations because between what Jean-Luc they've done to Jean-Luc Picard's character and what Sirius did in real life was related to saying people in Texas deserve to die after an ice storm. I can't watch any of that stuff. DS9 is still my favorite modern non-TOS series, and always has been. But I think the second thing we need to do is we need to re-embrace the things that we love, because they're not destroyed completely. I mean, they're not. I mean, unless you actually like buy into what these Hollywood weirdos are doing. Like DJ Ronnie G says, I only watch stuff I like from the past. Punk Waddle observes, the truth is some of the IPs that have grown to such a big fandom started off a little rough, and people believe we do hold a high bar, but we also need to help people grow in their craft as well. Absolutely. I think that's an excellent point. Oh, we have dissenting opinions in the chat. Man Squatch observes that this show does that stupid cheap sci-fi thing where they have technology out of the blue, but somehow it doesn't impact anything else. Well, Man Squatch isn't a fan. I am a fan. And one of the great things that I love about being fans is that the debates that we would always have. I mean, you guys remember, like, when any of us were young and we would debate, like, what was better, Star Trek versus Star Wars? You know? I remember knockdown, drag-out fights about whether Star Trek was better than Star Wars. And I was always a Star Trek was better than Star Wars guy. And of course I was, because James C. Kirk was my dad in my world. In my world, he was my dad. So, you know, anyway, so that's one. So the third thing I think that we need to do, one is we need to embrace new creators with their craft. Number two, we need to watch the stuff that we like from our youth, younger life. And the third thing we need to do is find new stuff that might be out there and give it a chance, especially if it's actually, truly something new. Now, the next one that I've recently started watching, which was recommended to me. Let me get this one queued up here. Is another show. It's another space type show that I want to share with you guys. But before I do that, let me highlight Rod Thunderheart. Rod Thunderheart coming in with a $5 super chat. Hail Mexican Iron Man, and best wishes for Stone Loki. That would be Stone_Loki. To get better. Link on Twitter for my book. Furiously working on See Through Love to Pyro to be best. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Rod Thunderheart. And I'm going to give you a little skull for the morning. Thank you so much.
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Canadians, thank you so much, Rod Thunderheart. Go to Twitter, check out Rod Thunderheart's post, and buy See Through Love. Canadian Spider-Man observes Star Trek was better than Star Wars, Mexican Iron Man. Okay. Mark the Infinitely Tired with a very excellent comment. Star Wars sparked your imagination as a kid. Star Trek broadened your horizons and made you think, Mexican Iron Man. Yeah, I hear that. Dean Krantz adds into the conversation. I am rewatching Eureka. It is smart and funny. They use scientific concepts as part of the plot. Go figure, a smart and funny show that was written well. I'm going to have to add that to my list. Eureka. I never saw Eureka. Huh. Look at that. Nearsighted Cyclops observes, if you factor in time travel and how much old Jim got around, it is not out of the question that Kirk could be the dad of someone in Valhalla. Oh, that is a very good point. Similar to Mexican Iron Man, who traveled throughout the Caribbean and Central America and a whole bunch of islands when he worked for ExxonMobil back in the day. And let's just say that if anyone's traveling in Central America or the Caribbean and you run into a younger version that looks like Mexican Iron Man, yeah, just it could happen. Could happen. Yep. Ooh, Mansquatch says Eureka is so good that it makes Will Wheaton what? Mansquatch Will Wheaton is palatable? All right. Mexican Iron Man has definitely got to check this thing out. X-Wing is here. He says, I think being infinitely tired is starting to mess with Mark's head. You know what? He didn't even throw in a super chat. Not that you have to, but because you're here, X-Wing, I have to welcome you properly.
He said clipped. I forget I'm on the fucking internet sometimes.
Yes!
Oh, wow. That was good. Andrew Eastman observes that Will Wheaton plays an a-hole, so it works perfectly. Oh, sweet. God, I can't stand that guy. I couldn't stand him when he wasn't Star Trek originally. God, I hated that freaking character. All right, we got another show to share with you this morning here. Let me load it up here. I'm not sure if any of you have seen this one. Maybe some of you have. This one has had, real interesting reaction in a lot of ways. I'm having a very interesting reaction to the show. I'm not done with it. I did finish Raised by Wolves both seasons. This one here, I think I'm on season 1, episode 6 or 7. Here we go. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go here. Let's see here. See if you guys can. Let me do this. Oh, wait. Good Lord. All right, here we go. How about if I unmute it? That'll help. All right, so real quick, what we've got is a show that is as Mansquatch observes, thanks, Mansquatch, that's an awesome comment. This is a great show. It is more alternative history than sci-fi, and it's great. So basically, the premise is that in the space race, the Soviets... All right, now that one's on Apple TV. That show's on Apple TV, and that show was suggested to me by someone, I can't remember who, but it was on Pop Culture Breakdown. One of the people in the super chat, one of the people in the chat stream, live chat, suggested that to me, and it's really fascinating and interesting. I have been beat up by the woke stuff, and I got to admit something. As being a guy of quote diverse background or whatnot, and a guy who's always seen myself as being, I don't know, a little bit progressive or whatnot. I mean, I wouldn't call myself that these days, that's for sure. Mexican Iron Man is a conservative South Carolinian these days. There's things that happen in the show. These days, whenever I see, I got to admit this, whenever I see women, whenever I see minorities, including Mexicans, Latinos, and there's some in the show, black folk, I've been so beat up by this woke crap that it's starting to put things in my head that I have to resist, because I'm so beat up over the head over like stuff like the Kurtzman does and stuff. So the guy who ran, one of the creators of this, is, of course, Moore, who is the great creator of Battlestar Galactica Reimagined. And I'm going to agree with Mansquatches. It's more alternative history, and it's great. And the special effects are fantastic. The acting performances are just wonderful. I mean, there's no one that I have seen, and there's not a single actor that doesn't bring their A game to this. I mean, they really, really, really bring their A game to this show, and it is absolutely entertaining so far. Now, there are some things that happen that when they happen, I get a little cringy, but so far, each of the 3 or 4 things that have popped up that were a little bit cringy or wokey to me in the first, say, 3 or 4 episodes, they end up making sense so far. I'll give you an example, and I'll just talk about there's a Hispanic storyline, an immigrant storyline, and so far, I mean, I'm not all the way through this thing because there's 2 seasons. We'll see where this thing's going, but I was pretty much like every time the Mexicans came on stage in this series, I was like, now I'm not interested in whatever's going on. But now it's starting to pay off, and I see what they're doing or trying to do, and how they're trying to connect some dots. And even you may have noticed some female astronauts. Well, they actually bring that in by bringing in the how prevalent the equal rights movement was and all of that stuff and all of that. So I find the show completely enjoyable. I highly recommend it. I'm going to be watching it all the way through the end. It'll probably take me, because I'm in tax season, another week or 2 to get through it minimum. So real quick, I want to recognize Rod Thunderheart again, who came in with a $2 super chat. Hail! Rod Thunderhead says, Mexican Iron Man, you nailed my rage over Kevin Smith He-Man. Yeah, I think that may be the hardest, loudest rant I've ever done on YouTube, I think. Because not only was I screaming angry, but I think I started crying. I was so angry. Because He-Man to me taught me that people of all backgrounds can get along. I was the only Mexican kid on the playground. We used to play He-Man in the afternoons after school. Eddie and my other little friends when we were kids. And we all came from real big backgrounds. And then, of course, the characters themselves, the action figures. And not any of us had enough money that any of us had, like, the whole collection or any of that stuff. But together, we would bring our character, we would bring our action figures, and together we would be to relive the stories together. Darth Arlena says, I love the alt history aspect. Man in the High Castle was great. Hi, Mexican Iron Man. Hi, Darth Poppy. Hi, Darth Arlena. Hopefully I get to see you at Echo Base Network or in October, or hopefully me and Dave Bob after tax season, we can organize a little Valhalla Southern shoot 'em up here. So for those 2 skulls, you guys keep the fires burning in the morning for Loki's Mornings of Mischief. And Dr. Dragon, Mexican Iron Man, I'll be honest, I never gave the Kevin Smith He-Man version a shot because he failed for you. And Andre, especially, I turned to the CGI He-Man instead. Even if you didn't like it, I did. Dr. Dragon, it's funny you say that, because I've actually so I saw the first 2 and I didn't like it. So I got through the first 5 episodes and I plan to finish it. So, and this is something I was going to mention earlier in the show, that I have a rule that I learned from Culture Casino, that watch 3 episodes, and if it's not awful, keep going. And I didn't do that with CGI He-Man, and I still don't think it's for me. But I'll tell you this much, is that I think the first 2 episodes were probably the worst, and now I'm up there. I do plan on finishing it anyways, by the way, Dr. Dragon. I'll probably never like anything as much as this in the morning. Coming in towards the end of the show is DB Barnes. Says, morning, Mikey. Morning, David. Hi, David. David lives out in California. The Matt Cave says, I didn't even know the term woke until last year. Being in the dark on that one, I think, allowed me just to sit back and enjoy movie shows. You're probably right. You're probably right on that point. Sometimes it's always like, the more you know. Sometimes the less we know, the better. Sometimes, a lot of times, Who knows? Couple things. Later today, I have a box. I'm here back at the plantation here in Hilton Head Plantation out here in South Carolina, and I want to shout out to Andy Masterson who's in the chat because sitting right downstairs, ready to be opened, is a box that Andy sent me, and I think I know what's inside. So later today, I'm gonna be, well, not later today, in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna rush downstairs and tape a video and do an unboxing. So a couple things you guys have to look forward to is I'm going to be releasing a video on my channel where I'm going to be opening up a very special gift sent to me from Andy Masterson, and I do believe it's a Mexican Iron Man action figure. So check out the video. Check out Andy Masterson. Andy, thank you so much. I can't wait to open it up and release the video later today for the unboxing. The other thing I want to leave you guys with before we sign off is this. Is that I am going to talk to Loki about doing something really, really, really cool, which is to make some of you who are at Echo Base Network, I'm going to go camera on. I'm going to turn the camera on for a second. Some of you who are fans of Echo Base Network may be aware that Echo Base Network has a challenge coin. Okay, it's not focusing. I don't know why it's not focusing. Let me try again. Well, it's hard to. Okay, well, in any case, this is the Echo Base Network challenge coin. Mexican Iron Man has himself one too. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna coordinate with Loki, and we're gonna get these done here for Valhalla, so that there'll be a Valhalla challenge coin. So for those of you who make it to the October meetup for ValhallaCon, we're gonna, these things, they're really durable. I mean, they're solid and they take about 3 months to put together. I'm gonna get with Loki when he feels better, put together the designs with his artist, get this done, and we're gonna be giving those out to everyone that's in attendance. And we're gonna do a limited run of these, and there's gonna be 100 of them. And once they're gone, they're gone. And so that's to everybody that makes it to ValhallaCon. I'm not sure how Loki wants to handle it, whether he wants to do it for everybody who's a member and he wants to subscribe. I think it's probably just be anybody that shows up and makes it to ValhallaCon will get this. And I think it'll be a great memento. So, oh wait, we got one more super chat that just came in I missed that, Accidental Tourist. Thank you so much for the $4 super ticket. Super sticker. It is a cup of coffee. Accidental, thank you so much, bro, because I need to go get me some coffee because Mexican Iron Man is need himself some coffee. So and in support of my brother Loki, I'm going to give you this skull clip just for you, Accidental.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother.
Thank you so much, Accidental. Thank you so much, Accidental Tourist. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning on Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Please drop an L in the chat stream if you don't mind. And that is so that we can tell our brother Loki, our fearless leader of Valhalla, how much we hope that he gets better. So drop an L in the chat stream if you don't mind on your way out the door. Thank you for joining us today. It has been a fantastic morning. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Have a fantastic rest of the week. And I will see you, if not tomorrow, Friday night for the Friday night show. And remember, take care of yourselves. Love one another. Be kind. Speak friend to enter. And love thyself and love those around you and stay positive. The future is as bright as we think it will and make it to be so. All right? So say we all.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.